Hello dear viewer, and thanks for tuning in to the channel once again. In today's video we'll have a look at the different aspects of communication. So how we get a message from one person to the other and what things we have to take into account. Be sure to keep on watching. To explain how communication works and how it sometimes doesn't, we're going back to a loving 1950s family. In their home, centrally located in the living room, is the telephone. That telephone is the main way to communicate with the outside world. In those days there was no email, no social media, messages, Snapchats or smoke signals. And we're in luck, because right at this moment the phone starts ringing. The lady of the house picks up the phone. Someone has a message for her, which she is about to receive. That's why we will from now on refer to her as the receiver. On the other end of the line is her husband. He's calling from his office. He wants to tell her something, deliver a message. From this point on, we will call him the sender of the message. But what does the sender have to say? Let's take a look. He's coming home early from work and wants to take her out to dinner. So that's good news. This is the message, the content the sender wishes to convey to the receiver. Sender, message, receiver. These three are the foundation of the communication model. But there's a bit more to it. The sender is speaking into the phone, but he could do so in many different ways. He could whisper softly or shout. He might sound angry or friendly. He could speak English or another language. And he might use a British accent, an American accent, or an Australian. All these different ways of transmitting the message are referred to as the code, in what form the message is transmitted. Let's also take a look at the phone itself. The telephone is the device through which the message is transmitted. We call this the medium, by what means the message is transmitted. So, the sender transmits a message in a certain code using a medium to the receiver. Now let's focus on the receiver's side, because chances are the receiver isn't home alone. It's the holidays and the children are at home. And those children aren't exactly quiet and calm at this moment. Just as the phone rings, brother and sister are having a loud argument. As a result, only half of the message gets through. Part of it is lost. The receiver no longer hears that the sender wants to take her out to dinner. Instead, she thinks the message is, "I'll be home early, make sure to prepare dinner." And that's a much less pleasant message. This phenomenon is called noise. The communication is disrupted by an external factor. In the model, it looks like this. Everything goes well until the noise disrupts the transmission. Noise can appear almost anywhere in the model. For instance, if a heavy truck passes by the sender's office during the phone call, that too can create noise. So here's the situation. The sender announces he'll be home early and wants to go out to dinner. But due to the noise, the message only partially gets through, and the receiver thinks she needs to prepare dinner sooner than expected. But why is that a problem? Well, there could be several reasons. Maybe they had planned dinner with the neighbors that evening. Maybe the dishwasher hasn't finished yet. Or maybe the grandparents are visiting. Communication always happens within a certain context, and that context always has an influence on how the message is perceived. Communication is considered successful when the sender's intentions match the effect the message has on the receiver. In this case, that's not what's happened. As you can see, communication is a very complex process. A lot of things can go wrong. So we'll leave this family in peace so they can sort out the misunderstanding on their own. Now you have a clear view on the different aspects of communication in the communication model. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel, and I love to see you in the next video. See you later.